Daki from Demon Slayer. She is Upper Moon 6. She shared the position with her brother Gyutaro, and she was in the red light district as one of the geishas. She made a lot of money for her house. I don't remember which house she was working for. She was working for one of them in the red light district, and she'd been working there for a long time, like over 100 years. And she was in, I think it was the one that Zenitsu was sent to, and he was sent to that one, right? And so she was sent there, and after Zenitsu found out, she was like, "Oh, the Demon Slayer's after me. I had to make moves and shit." They've already found out. The bitch already that had worked there and shit. She was like, "Well, you were scary as fuck," because I remember people talking to me about a woman who ran the red light district, and she was really cool, but she was also very demonic and shit. And then she found out she was a demon. She dropped her off of the top of the building. But then Tanjiro started fighting against her. He scared her because when he was fighting her, she actually did dismember Nezuko though. But we found out that Nezuko could, she had a little bit up her sleeve too. Her regen was, pretty alright. But she did do that to her, and she was fighting against Tanjiro. And then she saw Yorichi, and she was like, "I'm scared now. I don't know who that is, but that's somebody I don't want to fuck with." But then Tengen, came because Tanjiro bought time for him, and Tanjiro was calming down Nezuko. And then Tengen had cut off her head. He was like, "Man, girl, you are not the Upper Moon 6. That was easy for me to, handle." But then he was like, "Why is your head still standing? Why are you still alive? When I, beheaded you." And then Gyutaro came out, and then she started fighting against Zenitsu and Inosuke. And then, she kind of dismissed them at first, but then they got, back to fighting after, they got up for their final stand. Tengen had one arm, and, his eye was fucked up. And then Zenitsu and, Inosuke were badly injured, but they got up and they were fighting against her. It took basically both Inosuke and Zenitsu to cut the bitch's head off. She was still, kind of an issue as an Upper Moon 6, but she wasn't that powerful. So her strength is 87, with her speed at an 88, 87 for her durability, and an 88 for the endurance, 84 for intelligence, and 90 for experience. 90 for close skills, and then 94 for range skills, because she had that scarf that also ate Tengen's wives and shit, and kept other people inside, and it was basically her stomach, and she could eat people through that scarf. Or whatever fabric that was around her body, but Recoup's at a 91. And then hacks are at 87. So overall power score for the bitch is at 88.6. And that's Daki from season 2. But be cool if I was going to